The most cherished artifact in my collection is a glass diffusion pumping installation consisting of a three-stage oil diffusion pump and a full-size maxwell vacuum gauge. The gauge usually contained 10 pounds of mercury, which I was smart enough to put aside. The diffusion pump can be of many sizes, from very small to huge. High vacuum technology was the blessing and the course of my life, so I'm very well experienced within it. I still own the one presented here. If someone needs such things, now you can have them at almost scrap metal prices. When I just was admitted at physics at the University of Bucharest, I was itching to start doing physics, and I convinced my parents to intervene for an appropriate climate to be established. My father spoke with a good friend of ours who taught mathematical logic at the university, who spoke with Professor Mihog, the rector spoke with Professor Nicolau, who was the chair of the mechanics and heat department. It was a rather unorthodox way to produce results, but when it was more important to have uneducated parents than to be intelligent, it was more class warfare than corruption. By the middle of second year, I was experimenting with a 1 meter long tube rotating horizontally at 750 rpm, housing an infusion furnace capable of throwing a collimated beam of silver atom half a meter away in high vacuum. This kind of experiments were performed starting in 1910 by Stern and his collaborators. For his contribution to the development of the molecular array method, Otto Stern got a Nobel Prize. Well, I did not get a Nobel Prize, but for a 17 years old kid it was pretty good start. Unfortunately, at the time, the revolution of the proletariat just reached the university field with their revolutionary scientist sons. The mechanics and heat department was fully them, and one told me straight in the face, to make such an installation, one has to have relatives at Jerusalem. For a while I refused to understand the connotation, but then it hit hard, and even now I detest the predicament and the people who put me through it. Practically, what was the defining experience for my career derailed me in the most formative period. Actually, I never fully recovered, and I ended up an inspired but lousy physicist. What a shame.